Hello, my name is Rocco Strangio, and I'm the host of the Law, AI, and Money podcast. I bring on attorneys, engineers, and entrepreneurs to unravel the world of AI and to discuss how it'll affect the legal profession. Today, I'm joined by Rightly Perry, a personal injury attorney from BD&J Injury Attorneys. Rightly is an experienced personal injury attorney that specializes in premise liability, motor vehicle accident, and product defect cases. He's been recognized as a super lawyer, national trial lawyer, top 40 under 40, and he's a member of CAALA. In our conversation, Rightly and I discuss how technology and AI are impacting the personal injury landscape. We discuss how emerging technologies might prevent many cases, and in other instances might resurface new complex issues. We hope you enjoy our conversation. Hey, Rightly, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Rocco. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on and chat. I was just in San Diego. I missed you, and I wish you were at AAJ.
Yeah, man. San Diego's beautiful. Jealous you got to go down there.
We're in the conference is in Coronado Island, probably the nicest place I've ever been to.
Yeah, that's incredible. I went to school at San Diego State for undergrad, and Coronado Island was like everyone tried to get jobs at Coronado Island as like valet, and because you just racking all the tips and yeah, super
Oh,
nice place.
if I could live anywhere, irrespective of money, I think it would be that place. It was gorgeous. You're in
Yeah,
LA, right?
yes, sir.
Nice,
Yes,
nice.
sir. Santa
What?
Monica area.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Once in a while, I'll travel out there. But anyways, I wanted to, have you on because you're a young attorney, doing a lot of work in the personal injury space, dealing directly with, rideshare claims and working on issues, related to technology and AI and stuff. So having your perspective on all that is super, super important and it's valued. So thank you for taking the time. Um,
Of course, man. Happy to be here.
yeah. So before we get into all like the tech stuff, I just want to ask you like, how's it being a young attorney in the personal injury space? What's that like?
I mean, I love it. I think being a young attorney nowadays is really it's really helpful in the sense that uh, technology is advancing, and the it used to be the attorney you would want was probably a old white guy that was overweight and balding in his 60s, right? But now it's important you have an attorney that can keep up with the technology and the advances to technology and understand it. And the people that do that are going to be able to really excel. So, um, yeah, being a young attorney in the personal injury space, it's been great. It's been
It
great.
also helps, having crispy suits, looking good. You're looking
I
fine.
gotta fake it till you make it, and looking the parts half of that.
No, you look great. Yeah,
Thank you, man.
I'm always interested because there's so many different avenues you can go being a young attorney too. Whether you want to work defense, you want to do family law, whether you want to clerk, or if you want to get into personal injury, which I started out clerking for a personal injury firm here in Niagara Falls, Buffalo, and I thought it was really rewarding. You're helping people. That's the brunt of it.
For sure.
Yeah, I appreciate what you do, and I think it's admirable. Um, what are some of the cases
Thank
you
you.
guys are working on?
Oh, I mean, we have a ton of cases right now. Some of the bigger ones though, or the noteworthy ones, uh, got a got a double wrongful death case. It was a rear end accident that happened out near Palm Springs, and this elderly couple was plowed into by a kid that was going at least 70 miles an hour. Um, it, it's a really interesting case, and it's really complex because there are some factors at play that we are trying to sift through and sort out in litigation.
Yeah.
In the desert, it's two-lane highway each way, but where this accident happened, there was construction going on, and the lanes merged down to one lane. Um, Also, the way these two people passed away was from their seats dropping back. So
Interesting.
a lot of cars, when they malfunction or when they defect, their seats will drop back when they're hit from behind. And doing that, it snaps your neck on the back seats,
Yeah.
um,
I
or
didn't
the
know.
bottom part of the back seats. So their Toyota, um, there's definitely a product defect and a product claim there against Toyota. That was the car they were in.
Yep.
And then we are exploring whether or not the kid who hit them was in a 2023 Range Rover. And that Range Rover should have collision avoidance technology, which is the technology. I'm sure almost all of you guys have experienced it. If you have newer cars, you come up on
Yeah.
someone really hot, your car is going to brake for you, or do something try to slow you down. So if this kid hit them at 70, 80 miles an hour, it means he was either going 140 coming up on him, and the collision avoidance technology just couldn't have slowed him down enough. Or what's more likely, and what we think is the collision technology just
Didn't work.
didn't trigger, or wasn't. Maybe he turned it off. That's another possibility. And if he turned it off, we're kind of SOL as far as the Range Rover claim. But
Yeah.
the collision avoidance technology wouldn't have stopped the car completely, but it would have slowed it down from 70 or 80 down to probably 30, 40, or 50. And now we're not talking about wrongful deaths. We're just talking about injured, injured people.
Yeah. That's super interesting. And I kind of wanted to get into that. I thought initially when you brought up the story and the case, it was going to be a case of the elderly couple against, the individual and his insurance. But this sounds like a case against the elderly couple, obviously the kid potentially, but potentially two large publicly traded corporations. And with where we're going with technology and AI, especially motor vehicle cases, self-driving cars, you might have to deal with that in the future more often than not. You're not going to be dealing with cases against a person and another person. It's going to be a person and this large company and their insurance. And I wonder how that changes your approach to litigating the case. If it makes it easier, harder.
Absolutely. So, yeah, the first thing that you would look to as far as where to get compensation would be the auto insurance companies.
Yeah.
That's the kind of the no-brainer uh, places that you would be looking towards, or tapping into. Uh, but yeah, most drivers in California, at least, most drivers don't have good insurance coverage. And a lot of the times, those auto insurance policies aren't going to be enough to cover substantial injuries.
Yeah.
So going after Toyota or Range Rover, when companies like that are in play, it opens up a whole new world of possibilities as far as treatment, because you're taking the top off as far as the policy limits go.
Yeah.
And yeah, you bring up a really good point. And with let me use Tesla, for example. Tesla now with their self-driving vehicles, they're opening themselves up to a different, um, a, kind of a different window of exposure. Because if you're in a self-driving vehicle and that self-driving aspect malfunctions and you get into an
Yeah.
accident, yes, you as the driver are always responsible. You ultimately are going to be at fault, but there's also fault to blame potentially on the vehicle for the technology that malfunctioned. And now we're talking about a product defect case, not just your everyday car accident.
Yeah. How often do you see something like that where You mentioned in the case there's a possibility that the brake system, the automatic brake system technology just didn't work. Have you experienced cases like that before? And if so, is it something that's common or?
Yeah, so the product defect cases, especially with the seat back cases, they're usually very costly. Um, defect cases in general are really costly.
Yeah.
So it usually takes kind of a perfect storm of a case to really go down that rabbit hole in the sense that you are probably going to um, only really pursue it and explore it when you have really injured people, just because you a lot of things go into it. You need to probably preserve the vehicle. Um, you need to store the vehicle somewhere, which storage fees rack up. You'd be surprised by the time you get to trial how much you would owe in storage fees at a lot of places. Um, but then it's the experts, right? Getting people to come in and give opinions and testify and examine the vehicle to even see if there's a product defect in the first place.
Yeah.
It's really a really costly process. Um, I would say maybe one out of every couple hundred cases is a case where you're going to be exploring a product defect in some capacity.
Yeah.
And it's not just seat back, it's the collision avoidance technology failing. A lot of the times it'll be an airbag defect, and airbags didn't go off when they should
What
have,
about
and
the
now the
lane
person has a
change
traumatic
stuff?
brain injury.
What about like that technology, the
Yeah,
lane change? And, I've seen cases where um, somebody's trying to do a lane change and it kind of stops them and something like that, the change in driving sometimes can cause a person to veer off and then it causes indirectly another collision.
absolutely. Absolutely. And that's kind of like the collision avoidance technology, right? It's this technology that they're putting in vehicles that it's meant to make it uh, a safer experience for the driver, but inadvertently, there are going to be times when it, it goes against what your intentions are,
Yeah.
and it might expose you, um, or expose the company to some liability.
Yeah. And how does it change? A lot of this technology is meant to supplement human driving, um, person decision making when it comes to operating a motor vehicle. Where are we going to go when it's fully autonomous? Like these vehicles are meant to fully drive themselves, and people can just be expected to not even look at the road.
It's really interesting because if that happens and it happens the way that these big manufacturers intended to, I might be out of a job because human error is a lot of the reason why personal injury attorneys are personal injury attorneys.
Right.
It's really interesting. Uh, I was talking to one of my clients, and he has a Tesla that uses the self drive feature, and his premiums are actually cheaper the more he uses the self drive feature. So
Wow.
insurance is actually charging you less if you're relying on the self drive features more, which I don't know, that seems so crazy to me.
Oh
But
yeah. I
I I guess they're trusting the technology more than they're trusting the
I
drivers.
mean it makes sense. I think something like half of all personal injury claims are motor vehicle accidents. And this technology is supposed to eradicate something like 99% of collisions because there's a lot of human error out there. Like just driving to work every day, I see people, driving erroneously and all over the place. And there's collisions every day. So, um, of course, I think you would agree with this. This technology is like a net positive on society for sure. I mean, not just the fact that we're like saving hundreds of thousands, if not millions of lives, but how efficient it is for society. Like insurance premiums go down. These cars, who knows? Maybe they've even become cheaper because, Tesla's talking about like leasing your car to be a taxi when you're not using it. Or the fact that people can be a lot more productive if instead of an hour, they're focused on driving a car, which is not producing anything for society. During that hour, while they're in the car being transported, they can work on something, right? Instead of 8 hour days, we can do
Absolutely.
7 hour days because we've got an hour back from our vehicles. So I think it's great. As you mentioned, maybe that impacts how many personal injury attorneys there are, but I don't think I think there's so much. I think there's so much going on. Um, People are being injured left and right. We still haven't quite understood how, but like AI is helping unravel how certain products, might cause cancers in people, or uncovering other things that we otherwise would not have known. I think it just shifts the industry from focus of motor vehicle accidents to a focus from like products and drugs and treatments and stuff like that. So we'll see.
Absolutely. It's, I mean, really what it's doing, aside from making, I guess, driving a safer experience by taking the human error out of it, what it's doing in the day to day, even right now, is it's providing a lot more information to people, right? You can have a much better understanding of what your injuries are if you got rear-ended by utilizing AI, and explaining to them, or explaining to whatever AI you're using, what kind of pain you're experiencing. Is it sharp? Is it dull? Where is it? You can get a whole lot of knowledge and information that people didn't have before, right? And it's a lot more efficient because of it.
For sure, for sure. Um, yeah, that's all super interesting, and I'm sure as these things unravel more and develop more, we'll have more answers. But for the time being, we're not there yet. I wish we were. I don't like driving into work and the commute. It's like one of my least favorite things. Um, Not just for the fact that it's annoying. It's
Preaching to the choir.
yeah, yeah.
I,
Oh,
I
you're in
drive
LA.
in LA. Yeah, it takes me an hour and 20 minutes to
Wow.
go 20 miles.
Oh my God.
That's each way. Yeah, it's absolutely brutal. I'm looking forward to the hovercrafts, and I can get here, 20 minutes. That'll be the day. The Jetsons is what I'm looking forward
What
to.
about the loop? I thought we were doing the loop, the hyperloop.
Yeah, the loop should be interesting. I don't know. I don't know when that's supposed to take place,
TBD,
but
TBD. Yeah, I can't
yeah,
complain because I guess my commute Buffalo to Niagara Falls, it's not. It's like 30 minutes and there's no traffic, um,
yeah.
but yeah. Um, Rightly, before we wrap up, um, I just want to ask you, what's one thing you want to share with the viewers, share to, aspiring attorneys who might be thinking of getting into PI law?
Yeah, so um, aspiring attorneys, it's a really, really interesting time. There's a dynamic shift right now because of the advances in technology, and most of the people in power are late adopters to the technology, and they don't trust it. They're not familiar with it. Uh, they know what they know, and they like what they like, and um, because of that, as a new attorney, you can come into a bigger firm if you understand how this AI and this technology works, and you can provide a more efficient way for this firm to operate. You not only will jumpstart your career, but it'll fast track you to places that you normally wouldn't be able to go. Also, aspiring attorneys, especially in the PI world, utilizing AI can really help you hang your own shingle and open up your own shop. A lot of the day-to-day operational stuff can be done through AI now. So information, ease of information, access to information, um, the ease of streamlining a lot of monotonous tasks. There's a lot of opportunity, and
True.
you should explore and evaluate every opportunity, see what works for you.
Well said. Well said. All right, Riley. It's been a pleasure. It's great seeing you. And I
Yeah, man.
wish you all the best. And I thank you again for taking the time.
Hey, thank you, Rocco. I really appreciate you having me. Honored to be here and share my experience.
Yeah. All right, man. Take care. Hey, thanks for tuning into the Law, AI, and Money podcast. If you enjoyed our conversation, be sure to like and subscribe so we can keep the conversation going. Thank you.